Good evening and welcome to G24 for G24 News. Now the top stories. Boris Johnson has published his new Brexit deal proposal to the European Union, setting out his plan to scrap the Irish backstop. Gabriel's manager Patrice Neveu delivered the list of the 23 international that will challenge Burkina Faso and Morocco in the coming days. That's all for our top story. Stay with us for more details in this newscast. We start with politics in Gabon. As the cabinet meeting was held yesterday in Libreville, social issues were at the core of the debates. Let's hear the spokesman of the government, Mr. Ikamboya Ndeka. Viviana Kenenge.
This Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019, President Ali Bongo Ondimba presided over the cabinet meeting from 11:30 a.m. in the usual room at the Palace of the Presidency of the Republic. During this session, which marks the return of the government, the cabinet meeting, among many other issues, focused on social-related ones.
This project is part of the Territorial Administration Program. Its objective is to link the missions of this administration to those of the emerging Gabon Strategic Plan, more particularly those related to the development of basic data, allowing the construction of a coherent and modern national information system. This text finally establishes the identification of public servants through the creation of a personal identification number, PIN, for each person, and the facilitation of its distribution to administrations responsible for managing people and personal data. As a central element of the state administrative management system, this PIN is playing a key role for civil servants and officials within the country and in diplomatic missions. This unique number securely and definitively binds personal data of each person of their biometrics.
Boris Johnson has published his new Brexit deal proposal to the European Union, setting out his plan to scrap the Irish backstop. More of this report with Thibaut Tungu.
The British Prime Minister said he wanted a looser free trade deal than the one favored by his predecessor, Theresa May, and in these circumstances, the proposed backstop is a bridge to nowhere. Writing to European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker, Mr. Johnson also said it would be a failure of statecraft for which we would all be responsible if the two sides could not strike a deal before the October 17th European Council meeting. While the UP welcomed the new proposal, Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn said it's worse than Theresa May deal. I can't say it getting the support that he thinks it will get. Boris Johnson laid the board for the dramatic Brexit endgame tonight after he tabled a final offer and 5-point plan to scrap the backstop with Brussels, and then dramatically moved to suspend Parliament again. The Prime Minister ramped up pressure on the EU by finally sending details of his plan to Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker and challenging him to accept a responsible compromise. However, he made it clear the only alternative to his proposal is no deal. The 5-point plan involves keeping Northern Ireland in the single market when it leaves the EU customs union with the rest of the UK.
In economy, the US dollar weakened against its major rivals in late trading on Wednesday as market participants digested a slew of downbeat economic data. Let's follow this report with Yana Kenenge.
U.S. private sector employment increased by 135,000 jobs in September, a drop from 157,000 in August, according to the monthly ADP National Employment Report released on Wednesday. Economics polled by Econoday had forecast a gain of 152,000. The employment data came one day after figures from the Institute for Supply Management showed U.S. manufacturing PMI fell from 47.8% in September, marking the lowest level since 2009. The dollar index, which measures the greenback against 6 major peers, fell 0.11% at 99.02 in late trading.
Economy has got futures on the COMEX division of the New York Mercantile Exchange, both for second straight session on Wednesday. More on this report with Thibaut Tungu.
Gold futures on the COMEX division of the New York Mercantile Exchange rose for a second straight session on Wednesday as the precious metal was boosted by declining U.S. equities and weaker greenback. The most active gold contract for December delivery was up $18.9 or 1.27% to close at $1.507.9 per ounce. The US dollar index, which measures the buck against 6 rivals, went down 0.13% to 99 as of 5:30 GMT. Gold usually moves in opposite direction with the US dollar, which means if the dollar goes strong, gold futures will fall as gold, priced in US dollars, becomes expensive for investors using other currencies. When the stock markets were on the rise, investors may stop buying safe haven assets.
Oil prices extended losses on Wednesday as rising U.S. crude stockpiles fed fears of oversupply and downbeat economic data dim outlook for energy demand. Let's watch this report.
Oil prices extended losses on Wednesday as rising U.S. crude oil stockpile fed fears oversupplied and on-base economic data dimmed outlook for energy demand. U.S. crude oil inventories climbed during the week ending September 27, the U.S. Energy Information Administration said in a report on Wednesday. According to the weekly petroleum status report, U.S. commercial crude oil inventories, excluding those in a strategic petroleum reserve, increased by 3.1 million barrels from the previous week, higher than analysts' expectations for the increase of 1.6 million barrels. Meanwhile, a slew on a newly released weak data in the world's largest economic waged on the prospect for oil demand. U.S. private sector employment increased by 135,000 jobs in September, a drop from 157,000 in August, according to the monthly ADP National Employment Report released on Wednesday. Economists polled by Econoday had forecast a gain of 152,000. The employment data came one day after figures from the Institute for Supply Management showed U.S. manufacturing PMI fell to 47.8% in September, marking the lowest level since June 2009. Oil prices are finding it virtually impossible to break out of their defensive stance because weak U.S. economic data are fueling renewed concerns about demand, Carsten Fritsch, energy analyst at Customers Bank Research, said in a note.
Now in sports, as Gabonese coach Patrice Neveu delivered the list of the 2020 internationals for friendly matches against Burkina Faso and Morocco. More is this report with Yana Kenege.
The coach of the Gabonese national football team, Patrice Neveu, delivered this list of the 23 internationals that will challenge Burkina Faso and Morocco in the coming days. Confirmation but also surprises in the first list communicated by Neveu, while Gabon must face in October 10th and 15th the Stallions of Bertrand Traoré and the Lions of the Atlas. If Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Mauro Lemina, although wounded, Lloyd Palun, Denis Bouanga or even Bruno Ekolemanga are amongst the team, the new coach of the Gabonese Panthers decided to do without the services of one of the leaders, goalkeeper Didier Vonebang.
I shared a list of the 23 selected players, plus one player on the waiting list. Didier Ovono has the desire to bounce back in a club. He does not want to end his international career. He's had contract with the club, but nothing official. I told him yesterday, with the respect he deserves, that he will not be selected. So we hope to have him back when he's in the club, training and competing, because he gave a lot to our national team.
Disciplinary measures were also evoked by the coach, stating clearly his view on the direction he intends to take with the group. There are high expectations from the Gabonese supporters upon the French coach and his staff, as they are preparing for these 2 matches that will set the tone before the anticipated match with the Democratic Republic of Congo in the qualifiers of the African Cup of Nations 2021.
We're still talking sports, as in the IAAF Championship, several new names have emerged over the first 5 days of competition. Yana Kenenge will tell us more on this.
Some of the biggest names in the sports have commented their legendary status by adding to their career medal haul at the International Association of Athletics Federation World Athletics Championship, Doha 2019. But along with established stars, several new names have emerged from the first 5 days of competition at the Khalifa International Stadium. Having dominated the event on the international circuit over the past 2 years, USA's Noah Lyles became the youngest ever winner of the men's 200 meters at the World Championships, earning his maiden senior global title on Tuesday with a 19.83 run. Earlier that evening, Lyles' teammate and fellow 22-year-old Donovan Brazier broke the championship and North American records to win the 800 meters in 1 minute 42 seconds. The women's 800 meters had a surprise winner in the form of Uganda's Halima Nakayi in 1 minute 58 seconds. Compatriot Winnie Nanyondo, the fourth-place fisher, joined Nakayi on the lap of honor, stopping every now and again to perform a celebratory dance. Other medalists have emerged as a future force too. Ethiopia's 5,000 silver medalist Solomon Barega and Ukraine's high jump runner-up Yaroslava Mahukishi became the first athletes born this century to win senior global medals. The likes of a Shelley Ann Fraser Prize and Christian Taylor may have achieved all-time great status here in Doha. But with the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games just 10 months away, there appears to be many up-and-coming athletes also on the brink of superstardom.
Well, we've come to the end of our newscast. Let's get back to our top stories. Boris Johnson has published his new Brexit deal proposal to the European Union, setting out his plan to scrap the Irish backstop. Gabonese coach Patrice Neveu delivered the list of the 23 internationals that will challenge Burkina Faso and Morocco in the coming days. That's all of our newscast of the day. You can follow us on our social networks just on your screen. Thank you for watching us tonight.